asked last week if a Q&A style YouTube video would be something you guys were interested in. And I asked you guys, basically I put up a question box and I said, ask me anything that has to do with pregnancy, being a mom, fitness, whatever. The majority of the questions are mom related, pregnancy related, and I do have some fitness while pregnancy questions. So I actually screenshotted your guys' answers or your questions, and then I just wrote them down because there's quite a bit of repeats in here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do this as organized as I can. Okay, so jumping right into it, one of the first questions that I was asked in here was, were there any infertility issues? Not with this baby. So I think I mentioned before, or if you haven't watched my first trimester or my I'm pregnant video with Remington, we did have issues conceiving with Remy. And I got pregnant in January of 2019 with Remington, and we had been trying for 13 cycles. I say 13 cycles because I think we had started trying in December of 2017 or January of 2018, something like that. And then I ended up getting pregnant January 2019. But about 6 months into our TTC journey with Remington, I had reached out to an infertility doctor, and I would recommend her to everybody because usually infertility specialists won't even like entertain you until you've been trying for a year. But at 6 months, I was like, okay, like I'm having regular cycles. What's going on? I've been very open about my eating disorder journey and how I used to be anorexic. And so I was terrified that I had done irreparable damage to my fertility because I didn't have a period for 9 months when I was anorexic. And I had heard stories about how you can do irreparable damage to your hormones and your menstrual cycle and your fertility. So I actually reached out to an infertility specialist. At the time, we ran a ton of tests and my hormones were a little off. My husband's counts were a little low. And so we worked with her to fix both of them. His counts were low just because what we can assume is just stress. Stress of the job. So I actually had him on a men's vitality supplement. I got it from GNC, and I started taking some different supplements because at the time she had diagnosed me with borderline hypothyroid Hashimoto's. More Hashimoto's because my thyroid antibodies were so high. So I had really changed my diet at the time. I went dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free. I started on zinc, selenium, and magnesium. Really watching what I was eating, really paying attention to not too high impact stuff because if I was borderline hypo, my body was basically saying it was stressed out. So anyways, I started up on that, and then we had talked about doing IUI. And so with Remington, we were getting ready to do what we were going to do with assisted intercourse. We weren't actually going to do the implantation yet. So I had started on metformin, I think like the last week of December that year. And we were getting ready to go in because I was going to start Femara when I was ovulating, and I ended up getting pregnant. So I was only on metformin for like less than a week. So I'm not sure if metformin actually helped or if my body was just basically like, yeah, we're good. We're in homeostasis. We're good. So anyways, with this baby, I never got a period back after Remington. So no, with this baby, it was more of a surprise that we were pregnant. And that's another question. Did you get a period back after Remy? No, I did not. I was very candid about that. I started weaning Remington about mid-June. I finished weaning about end of July. And based on when my due date was, how big this baby is, I ended up getting pregnant sometime end of August. That's what they're saying. So I never had a period between the two. The only reason I knew that I was pregnant was that I had taken an ovulation test because I thought the last week of August I had some spotting, nothing heavy enough to put in a tampon. And I thought, okay, maybe that is my period. I'm not sure. So I just counted that as my period. It was very light spotting. And so then 2 weeks later, I was like, okay, let's just try to catch my ovulation. And so I started testing with ovulation strips. I'm definitely familiar with them because I've tried for 13 cycles with Remy. And I ended up getting a peak. And when I got the peak reading, we tried because we were like, okay, might as well, like, let's try. And I kept testing to see when the peak would go down. And for 5 days, I had a very high reading on my ovulation test, which I know is not normal. If you guys know, when you take those ovulation tests, you might get a lower kind of like light LH surge. And then when you peak, it's really dark for like a day or two, and then it drops off. So then when it stayed elevated for so long, I remember laying in bed. It was like a Saturday night in September, and I was like, that's not right. That's not right. I've taken these before. It's supposed to drop off. Why isn't it dropping off? And I woke up the next morning and I thought, there's no way. And you guys saw the video. I was already pregnant. Didn't have any issues the second time. Fears of becoming a mom of 2. Or having 2 under 2. This one got asked quite a bit. I wouldn't say I'm scared. I think I'm more nervous and anxious for a couple of reasons. One, Remington was a very good baby. From what I've heard, she's obviously my only experience with a small child, but she was very good. We put her in her own room at 10 days old. You know, she slept pretty well. We did the sleep train thing from taking care of babies. She sleeps really good right now. She eats good. I didn't really have any issues breastfeeding. I did get mastitis, but early on, but no latching issues, no bottle confusion. I mean, she was a pretty good baby. So I'm a little nervous because I know it's going to dramatically change the family dynamic. And right now she's our little baby and she's our only one. I am excited to have a boy and see the differences there. I'm a little bit nervous on how I'm going to split my time, how I'm going to continue to work. I don't have a maternity leave, so that's going to be very different for me. So just trying to tend to balance everything. You know, my own fitness and health is very important. So just trying to balance things and, you know, give my attention equally to both. I know that, you know, as I go back to breastfeeding, I'm going to spend more time with the new baby. And so that's kind of my fears. I'm not necessarily afraid that Remington's going to be jealous because she's around her cousins all the time and she's so good with them. She really is. So I'm not necessarily worried about that. I think it's just more of how I'm going to juggle everything. But I was nervous about this with Remington too before she was born, and I feel like I navigated that, you know, best you adjust, you know, like I don't remember a time before Remy anymore. Okay, so now I have a couple questions about the first trimester in general. One of them was, how do I deal with exhaustion in the first trimester? And I was freaking tired. If you've ever been pregnant, you're exhausted. And I felt like this was even more so this pregnancy because I didn't have the option to nap. You know, with my first pregnancy, I didn't have a toddler. So I could nap during the day. I could adjust my schedule. You know, I've worked from home. So with this pregnancy, I can't do that. I'm still getting up, getting my workout in, treating it like a normal 9-to-5 work day. I'm very lucky enough to have childcare during the day, you know, but I get off work, I go pick up my kid, it's, you know, dinner, family time, bath, book, bed, like that's just the routine. So definitely more tired. What actually helped me a lot, and I'll be honest with you guys, is working out. I know that sounds counterintuitive because you're like, I'm so damn tired, I just need to, and I'll be honest with you, I'm 17 weeks pregnant right now, and I added in an extra rest day because physically my body just feels run down. But see, an extra rest day for me means that I get that extra hour and a half or so of sleep in the morning. So that's kind of my trade-off because I don't really have another window to work out, unless I was working out during her nap on the weekends or something like that. During her nap, during the weekday, I'm working. But so other than that, it's just staying active. I noticed, especially, we went on a trip when I was 10 weeks pregnant and I didn't work out on that trip due to COVID. Obviously, there's no gyms where we were traveling. I felt even more awfully tired because I wasn't waking up and walking. I was taking care of her. I felt terrible. My body just does better when it moves. And I'm not talking, you don't have to go and do a crazy CrossFit workout. You could do yoga at home. You could do stretching. That helped me so much. That was like my surge of energy in the morning. I didn't increase my caffeine at all. I still have 1 cup of coffee, and I do about half a scoop of Protea's Vitality before my workout. But honestly, I stuck the best I could with eating as whole foods as I could. I didn't feel good at all in the first trimester. That's another question. Morning sickness. How did you battle that? I didn't have morning sickness, but I did have like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. sickness. Like, I mean, it would hit me and I was nauseous all night. It was like that sprinkler mouth, like dizzy, like I'm starting to get hot flashes, like, oh shit, I can't even go lay down right now because I gotta cook dinner for my family, and I just, awful. And the only thing, it was weird, it was like, the only thing I could really stomach was saltine crackers, and I wanted tomato soup, and then all I wanted was potatoes. And so I was doing like baked potatoes, I was doing hash browns, I was doing potatoes in the air fryer with some ketchup. I couldn't really eat much protein. I can now, but I didn't even want, like, I could do eggs, and I could do protein shakes. And so I was really trying to keep my protein up. Oh, I was doing collagen a lot too. I still am doing collagen, but I mean, I was like putting it in my oatmeal. I was trying to put it in some plain yogurt if I could. Anything that was really bland. It was hard because I knew my diet was part of the reason I was so damn tired, but I was so nauseous. So I was really, really trying to keep my fiber up and my micronutrients up. I was having a smoothie, and that was kind of like my cheat to try to stick in some protein, some chia seeds for some fiber, some berries, some spinach, collagen, things like that, just as like my superfood smoothie, because I knew my gut wasn't used to some of the stuff I was reaching for. And unfortunately, I think that exacerbates your exhaustion in the first trimester. It's like you don't feel good, and you have, you're like, I don't feel good. All I want to do is eat, carbs. And it's like, not that carbs are bad, but like, I was eating a ton of gluten, and I usually don't eat gluten. So I was eating a ton of saltine crackers and breads and toast, and I was just like, ugh. So, once I was able to stomach it more, I went back to eating salads. I still make sure I eat a big salad every single day. I eat fruit, a ton of fruit now, lots of berries, fibers, oats with chia seeds, getting my protein in, collagen, and I feel so much better. So I do think my diet has to do with it. I was trying to nap when I could, and I still go down very soon after Remy goes down. We put her down between 7 and 8, and my husband and I are in bed between 8 and 9. No excuses. And just realize it's gonna pass. So the nausea passes, the exhaustion passes. I think right when I hit 13 weeks, it was like, damn, I feel good now. Fly. Okay, so another question was about supplements, and specifically Protea supplements. A couple questions on this. So first of all, as far as the Protea supplements, I talked about this on Instagram, but I am still taking a couple Protea supplements. I am absolutely still taking protein. I take the V-Pro, I take the vanilla and the chocolate. I have a scoop, at least a scoop a day, sometimes a scoop and a half, depending upon my protein needs. I am still tracking macros. That was another question. I am loosely. So, with my pregnancy with Remington, I gained about 25 pounds with Remington. I'm not so worried about, I always keep saying my body's going to do what it's going to do, but I do want to bring my intake up throughout pregnancy. So that's why I'm making sure that I am tracking, even if it's loosely. So I am trying to still measure things and weigh things when I can. I'm not super, super diligent with it, I'll be honest with you, but I am trying to bring my intake up. I did lose a couple pounds, I think like 2 pounds in the first trimester, just because I could not reach my protein. I could not reach my carbs. I just didn't feel good. And I think I was only eating like 1,400 calories, which is low for me. So I was like, so I lost a couple pounds. I gained it back. We're good. I think I'm up, 140.8 this morning. I started around 133. So like 8 pounds at 17 weeks. But usually this is when I start to speed up weight gain, according to Remy. I gained about 1 pound a week in my first trimester, or my second trimester. But anyways, so I am taking protein. I am 100%, I said I'm taking Vitality. There's 100 milligrams of caffeine in 1 scoop. I do about half a scoop in the morning. I work out about 5:30 in the morning, so take about half a scoop of the Vitality. That's only because in pregnancy, they say you're supposed to take no more than 200 milligrams. So if I have my cup of coffee, which I still really want, I love it, I do about half a scoop of Vitality. I'm also still taking the GI Assist. I take this every single night. It absolutely helps with my digestion. I might actually take it with a teaspoon of the Calm. So I mix these two together in some warm water right before bed. It helps with digestion in the morning. When you're pregnant, one of the common symptoms is constipation or inability to go to the bathroom, and that's only because your progesterone is so elevated. Progesterone is actually one of the symptoms of higher progesterone is constipation. So I've been taking my GI Assist, which also has 5 grams of fiber. So I have not stopped taking this. And I've been taking a teaspoon of the Calm, which is half a serving. So it's about 175 milligrams of magnesium. There's a little bit in this as well. So as far as Protea supplements, these are the 3 that I'm still taking. I am not taking Baseline or Stressify. I was taking Baseline up until the day I found out I was pregnant. I had been cycled off Stressify for a little bit because I didn't know if it was causing me more anxiety, or if it was just my hormones changing, which clearly it was. I had weaned and then got pregnant, so my hormones were everywhere. But I stopped taking Baseline the second I found out I was pregnant, and we do recommend this with pregnant women just because your hormones are now going to change a ton. We don't want you taking anything that's going to alter your natural hormones as they grow and change to support your baby. Another question I got was, when did I start Baseline after having Remy? I actually had, Remy was born on October 2nd, and the Protea line of supplements didn't come out until January. So just based on when they came out, I didn't start, it was January 18th, I documented it. So I would have been, 3 months postpartum? I might even start them sooner after this baby's born. This baby's born in May, and I might even start Baseline soon after because I felt like it really, really, really helped my hormones kind of even out, and I felt so much better. But I'll let you guys know, I'll keep you posted. But just based on when Protea had launched, I didn't start it till I was 3 months postpartum. Another question was, what prenatal am I taking? I am actually taking the New Chapter Prenatal. And I've been taking this since 2017 when we were trying to conceive the first time. So I've been taking this, I took this all the way through my pregnancy with Remy, breastfeeding, and then obviously right into this pregnancy. I've tried a couple other prenatals before trying this one. The problem with prenatals that I have found for me personally is there's so much iron in them, and it honestly ended up making my stomach hurt even more. It increased and exacerbated my constipation. This doesn't do that. I've really, really enjoyed New Chapter. It's soy-free, dairy-free, and gluten-free, which is also very hard to find in a prenatal. So this is what I've been taking. Other supplements I've been taking, I have drastically reduced my supplement intake, and I did this with my first pregnancy just because when it comes to supplements, it's unethical to test them on pregnant women. So what you decide to take is needs to be a result of your own due diligence and research and talking to your doctor. My doctor knows every single thing I've taken. I've actually brought these physical containers into the doctor and say, I'm taking these just so you know. So other than Protea and the prenatals, I've been taking the probiotic. I take a probiotic every single day. Right now it's the Renew Life 500 billion. I like it. It works well for me. So I've been taking this one. I've been taking a fish oil and DHA. I like the Irwin Naturals because there's not a whole bunch of extra fillers. It says there's 2,000 milligrams of fish oil, and 1,200 of that is from EPA and DHA. The rest of it is other fish oil. So you just need to watch when it says, oh, there's 2,000 milligrams. Well, actually, sometimes there's only 500 of EPA, DHA. So this is an actual really good, pure fish oil. I get it on Amazon. I've been taking a vitamin C every single day because of everything that's going on. I've been taking a vitamin C. I've also been taking elderberry. These happen to be gummies, but I've been taking an elderberry. I've been taking a calcium because I don't do milk. I found this when I was pregnant with Remy, but I've been able to do a little bit of cheese here and there, maybe a little bit of like regular yogurt, but I really try to stay away from it because it just really hurts my stomach. It makes me feel worse. But I know that the baby needs the calcium, so I supplement with calcium. This is from Pure Encapsulations. The only thing that I'm waiting on right now that I just ordered was the collagen. I do it from Vital Proteins, and so I've been taking that as well. Working out. I got a lot of questions on working out. How do I stay so motivated in pregnancy? I don't want to work out half the time, especially that early in the morning. With Remy, I had the luxury of waking up, setting my alarm clock. I think with Remy, I was, waking up at 6 or 7. whenever I kind of wanted to get up, maybe I'd start my day, then maybe I'd go to the gym around noon. You know, it was like whatever, whenever I feel good, good enough to go. Now I have to get up when that alarm goes off at 5 or 5:15. And I'm in the gym by 5:30 because that's my window. And so I guess it's just discipline at this point. It's kind of like you schedule a meeting at work, right? I mean, I know it's COVID, we're probably not going into work anymore right now, but it's kind of like that. Like you have an appointment with yourself. I'm not gonna miss it. This is when I'm working out. I'm going to the gym. I'm gonna get it done. And you know, I wake up, I take my Vitality, I get in there, and I always feel really damn good when I'm done. It's just getting that little engine going. And so I kind of have to shut my brain off and say, Kristen, this is your 45 to an hour mom time. There's nobody else awake right now. Remy's still sleeping. It's good. Don't look at your phone. No emails. This is your time. It's really a mental thing for me to get in there and just continue to do it. And I know it pays off tenfold, especially postpartum, to keep my energy up that way. Somebody asked me what my split is right now and how many days. I'm doing about 5 days, and I just changed this. I was doing about 6 days. I was doing 4 lifts and 2 cardio days where if I could walk outside, I would, but usually Remy's still sleeping, so I can't take her. But I was doing like a walk on the treadmill or a jog on the treadmill. Now my split is about 4 lifts and 1 cardio. So I dropped a cardio, but even like I didn't work out today, I'm still active and trying to get 10,000 steps a day just by walking. So I'm still getting that cardio in there, but right now I'm doing 4 lifts and 1 straight like cardio day. I'm working back up to jogging. I had quit jogging, I think around like week 10 or 11, because I felt some cramping and some tugging, and I just felt uncomfortable when I would jog or jostle too much. So I cut it out for a little just because it was just mom being scared. And I've slowly been working back up again. So about 15 minutes of a jog, 15 to 20 minutes of incline walking, and then some core work and belly breathing. I'm doing a shoulder and tricep and chest day, so more of like a push day, and then I'm doing a back and bicep, like a pull day. Both of those upper body days have core built in, and then I'm doing more of a heavier leg day, with some, you know, weights, barbell, Smith machine, that type of stuff. And then I've just started creating more of like band day, so more like higher rep band exercises, which has been really fun. I ended up getting some different bands and just trying to experiment. So I'm kind of in the middle of that, but that's what I'm shooting for. I started that like last week. I really changed my split a little bit more. Somebody asked, how do you get your arms so toned during pregnancy? Okay, pregnancy is not the time to focus on your muscle gains because your estrogen and progesterone are so damn high, it's almost impossible to actually gain muscle. But I am still using those arms every single day. I carry a 25-pound kid on my hip, and I am still focusing again on my nutrition. I can't stress it enough. It's nutrition, it's nutrition, it's nutrition. I've never once said I'm eating for 2. I have never once said, well, I'm pregnant, so screw it all. It doesn't matter. That's not true. You already feel like shit. I mean, you're exhausted, you're run down, you're nauseous. If you're chasing a 14-month-old, you're double tired. Why make yourself feel like shit even more by eating shit food? So I think my diet and keeping my protein up especially, and I'm still challenging myself in the gym, you know. My strength has gone down a little bit only because I'm creating a human, but I'm also not trying to PR. So I'm using different ways to fatigue the muscles, lots of mind to muscle connection, and listening to my body, trying to rest more. This morning I slept until she woke up at 7:15, which was crazy. I can't believe I slept that long, but you know, really listening to my body has helped a lot. Okay, little personal question. Was it painful to have sex after Remington? And how was your sex drive? Yes, so I tore with Remington. I had a 2nd-degree tear. So I was a little, I think, mentally scared to have sex after that, once I got cleared and the stitches were gone. But I think there was some scar tissue still inside. There was only so far that we could go because it hurt that bad. So we would try a little bit here and there. We'd try a little bit, and eventually I think it got used to it again. Or I don't know how to say this without sounding completely vulgar, but yeah, there was definitely some scar tissue left behind, whether it was more on the inside. So I don't know if it was just inflammation or What it was when she came through the birth canal, I'm not sure. I never went in to ask about it. As far as a sex drive, no, I did not have a sex drive at all, at all. And it's quite common. I actually talked to my doctor about this. It's quite common when you're nursing to not have a sex drive or to not, to have a low libido because your prolactin levels are so high. So your prolactin levels are high, which suppresses your estrogen and progesterone. Your prolactin is what makes so you can produce breast milk. So because those are suppressed, your sex drive is low. If I hadn't been pregnant right now, I had thought about going to get my hormones tested just to see where I was once I got done weaning. But yeah, so sex drive has seemed to increase since being pregnant again, so that's good. First trimester, I felt nauseous as shit. So there's that. But yeah, your hormones do weird stuff, and and sometimes I get down on myself, and I've got a pretty good husband who just says, hey, you know what, give yourself some grace. So yeah, if you're really worried about it, you're concerned, get your hormones tested. But if you are breastfeeding right now, it doesn't make sense. I wouldn't get your hormones tested because we know your hormones are suppressed. So baseline seemed to help. Baseline seemed to help when I was taking it prior to getting pregnant. Now I'm not on it anymore, but it did seem to help a little bit because I was weaning at the time. Anyways, those are the majority of the questions, and maybe if you guys like this, if you have any other questions, please comment below. If you guys like this style of like pregnancy recap or whatever, you like these Q&As, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know. It's kind of an easy way to get all that information out there that you guys have been asking questions. That's kind of where we're at. I'm 17 weeks today. Like I said, I'm in the second trimester now. Maybe I'll do a second trimester recap, but this fire is getting really hot, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you all in my next one.